Hello, everybody. This is Gary Kay, and you are watching a special video edition of my Rants and Raves podcast. And I'm joined by an not so old friend, Sean Matthews. Believe it or not, I knew Sean when he was graduating from college. So we go back a long way, actually. And your dad, of course, was one of the industry pioneers. How you doing, Sean?
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate you putting this together for us.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Of course, Sean is the president and CEO of Visix. Visix, and you can check them out at visix.com. They are going to be in the Central Hall in booth 2328 at InfoComm. Really what you're known for is a specific segment of the digital signage market is kind of where your expertise is. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, so, the digital signage space has been around for quite some time. And, most of the glory goes to the folks that are in the retail area of digital signage or advertising area. But we've been servicing the institutional or enterprise communication market for really the past 15 years. And, all of our products and the workflows that are associated with them are geared towards helping people communicate better in higher education, corporate campus, healthcare, hospitality, and even government. So that's our real focus. And we're successful at it because our AV integration and IT VAR partners, they're already servicing those sectors. And this is just a natural segue technology that adds on to displays and other, other display and video mapping technology that they're already using.
Yeah, well, and one of the things that's unique about you is you started in AV, you grew up in AV, and you're the first signage company that focused specifically on AV. And I think it's, arguably you could say that you probably brought more AV people into the signage market than any one company outside of the display companies. And that's kind of where your core focus is with AV companies doing projects in the signage world.
Yeah, that's a valid point, Gary. I mean, if you take the amount of revenues that we generate for ourselves, through the transactions that we are involved with, the additive component, which is basically all the infrastructure, the displays, and the services associated, we add another $100 million to the AV market just by our technologies being a springboard for other products and services that are delivered by the AV channel. So, we're proud of what we do with the AV channel, and we've been very successful at providing them with a product that they can deliver to their client base.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And of course, you're going to demo some stuff today. You're going to be at InfoComm with some new software, some new features, and also some you have a lot of little signage products that exist. Talk about a little bit about what we can expect to see when we go in your booth. Again, you're in Central Hall in booth 2328. By the way, we're using all Tascam audio gear. Doesn't it sound really good, Sean?
It sounds awesome. It sounds better than my Intel thing over here.
Yeah, well, you're talking into a PC, but they do the best they can. But in any case, talk about what we're going to see when we walk into your booth, and sort of why would an integrator that has 1,100 booth choices to make want to come by and take the time to go into your booth?
Yeah, so the real reason they're going to want to come by and see what we're doing is because, we are one of the very few digital signage companies that are courting the AV channel and providing margin to that channel and services and support to that channel. And so what they're going to see are our software technologies in use in real world sample environments for higher ed, corporate campus, healthcare, et cetera. They're going to see it all there. And this year, for the first time, you're going to see the enterprise version of our latest technology, which is called the Access TV Signage Suite. Mm-hmm. This is a brand new product built from the ground up. It's been in the works for more than 2 years. Our legacy product's been around a long time. In fact, it's been around for 14 years. And it was getting a little old, and the underpinnings and the architectural structure were even old. And so this product is really for us, it's the future of what it is that we have to offer to not only the channel but end users as well. And I mean, it's really, really powerful. We're focused on the things that are driving the digital signage conversations today. We can't do anything about the display technologies, which are really just awesome compared to what they were 5 years ago in terms of flexible displays and skinny designs and video mapping. I mean, it's really powerful stuff. And so now we have software that supports those display technologies. And most importantly, some data-driven components and interactive components in this current release. I mean, it's really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, and so that opens up a new market for for the customers, because now they have a lot more opportunity for recurring revenue opportunities that are out there. And that's going to be the future of the industry, is offering more of these services. So show me something. Show me what you're going to launch.
Yep. So I'm just going to pull pan down here for just a real quick second so you can see kind of what's going on in the background. But, this is just an example of, the professionalism in terms of the quality of playback that we have now, multi-layers, multi-zones, transparency, opacity. I mean, we're doing a lot of really cool stuff, unique ticker design.
Instead of it looking like a bunch of little blocks, it looks like one sort of integrated sign and it's obviously there's multiple feeds that are making that up.
Yeah, and that's, the cool thing about this, unlike what goes on in the retail market, which you see a lot of there, which are, creative design firms designing very specific content for the Clinique counter at the mall or whatever. What you have in the real world in enterprise communications is people want to incorporate PowerPoint, PDFs, and, things that were not designed for this medium, but we're able to add some opacity and transparency and, layer things so that it really looks good for this enterprise type environment. So that's just
it simplifies the creative too.
Oh yeah, because, think about things like PowerPoints or PDFs. Everybody can produce that. And, that's what they want to use because it's free and easy.
Yep. Great.
So that's an example of just what the, end use visual looks like. But if you don't mind, I'd like to share my screen here with you and just show you a couple of things in terms of what we're doing. So this is our, design product. Our technology is comprised of three main things. There's a design tool, there's a CMS, and then of course the player. And we refer to our design tool as Access TV Design. But, what I wanted to show is just, how easy this technology is to use. And, you can see here before I get into that, we have some locations and categories here. So this is where you start to see some of the enterprise functionality, personal content versus shared. And we have some sub-orgs here and people within these sub-orgs. That's just kind of the boring stuff that you would expect to see in an enterprise solution. But, it's baked in not only to the design tool, but the CMS. But when you really look at what the product can do, it's pretty fascinating, where we are now. This is just one example of a stock board that's being fed by some, data sources. And hang on, bear with me here one sec.
You click on the wrong one.
Yeah. So this is a stock board here, which is being fed by some, multiple data sources. On the surface, it looks a little complicated, but what I really wanted to show is that, when this thing goes to play, because not everybody's interested in the, the technical aspects of what it's doing. But you can see the data feeds here. It's pulling data from various sources. And what you're looking at on screen is the Playback Engine embedded inside of our design tool. So this is just at a person's workstation or laptop or even, tablet. You're actually getting a preview of what's actually being fed to the display before you even publish it. But what I wanted to zoom
exactly what it's going to look like.
Yeah, and this is actually what you see is what you get. This is exactly it in a full screen mode. You can stop it. But what I really wanted to point to were some of the data mapping tools. So you can see here, I can turn on the data map and I see exactly all the data sources. Up here is an XML feed. There's another XML feed here. And you can actually see where the data sources are being delivered on screen. So that, as you go to work with them, you can, really start to drill down from a designer's perspective here on the left with those tools that are in use and where the data sources are, where they're located on screen as I can walk through.
Let me ask you a question about all this. Do you, to me, this is obvious and I get it, but what level of programming knowledge or coding knowledge, or is this something that someone who has some basic, Windows and PowerPoint knowledge can learn?
Yeah, that's a great question, because at first, when you first look at this, you're right. You're like, wow, that could be a little overwhelming for some people. At this level, the product is designed for someone who is certainly a designer, but not a programmer, because any one of these elements over here on the right-hand side, you can see that I can change the sources here, by simple if then or less than. So if it's less than 0 or greater than 0, then this arrow appears or this arrow appears. So it's pretty straightforward to use in terms of, how you set it up. And this is the type of screen that you would set up one time and it would just play forever. But let me just say this, Gary, that in comparison to what we tried to come out with 6 or 7 years ago, a product called Announce, which had a built-in scripting engine, most people found that whole concept of scripting just too complicated for any sort of real screen design. So we tried to take somewhere the happy medium where you have this robust look on screen, but you can do it from a very easy sort of if-then programmatic perspective.
Yeah, and so so you have to have some design knowledge for the UX, because you have to kind of know what's going to look good and what's not going to look good. And then you have to have some ability to process logic, right? I mean, so there's sort of two elements to that. That's
correct. Yeah. I mean, and I think here's a good example of this particular design. When you look at this, what it looks like in the end is, it's just today's docket with some data that would be being fed to it. It's pretty simple stuff here. It's nothing more than like an event management system. So the event management data is mapped to the case name, the courtroom, and the time. So the sort of scripting element of it is on the right-hand side where it says adjourned. And when you look at these elements here, you can see that when I look at the artistic components of these pieces, what I'm looking for are really the things like what is the element that's associated with it. So if it is adjourned, then you use this piece of artwork. If it's pending, then you use this piece of artwork. It's really pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So this is the enterprise version. When is this going to ship, by the way?
So you'll start seeing this shipping around August 1st of this year, which will include alert notification for colleges and universities. And yeah, that's when you'll see.
And so is this something like how much training do you provide the integration community on? So if they want to get engaged with you and want to start off with you, how do you recommend they do it? Do they need to come to you? Do you have online training? Do you have people that go to them that educate them? How's that work?
Yep. So we have 9 people out in the field that are out in front of our integration partners presenting this technology basically every week. I mean, the ramp up now has been going on for about 6 months. And we've got some guys that are really coming up to speed quickly. We have a complete online LMS, and we have staff instructors that provide instructor-led training online as well. So we try to cover all the bases.
Excellent.
So one other piece I wanted to show you here is just while we're in the process of demoing this is the built-in interactivity, because we do have a lot of people that are asking questions about not like the classic kiosk, but customizing that user experience because they want to engage this sign for the purpose of seeing what the weather looks like, what the traffic looks like, the nearest Uber driver, what have you. So we built in interactivity into the product, and down in the lower left corner here, actually I have an invisible hotspot that you can't see. But when I select that hotspot, within our product, you're actually driven to other elements. In this case, because we're showing this at a trade show, these are other design, entire layouts. So in these particular layouts, for example, if I choose this one, you'll see that what I can focus on is not just, drilling into the layout itself, but within there, I have another layer of activity. If I'm looking for, multiple layers of interactivity in a product here, I'm sorry, I'm using this on a web server here, and it seems we're having a little difficulty there. But you can drill down into a second layer of interactivity on screen, which allows the user to, let me try this one again here to see how. So we have a feed here, which was a safety feed from this particular customer. Yeah. And so you can see that you can drill into multiple layers of interactivity. So it wouldn't really matter if you're looking to, build it in some other third-party application like Adobe or Photoshop or Flash or some other thing. But you can actually drill down in our product so you could create directories and wayfinding and other linkage within our platform.
Yeah, this is nice, and this will start shipping at the end of the summer. So this is going to be a big central part of your booth, I assume, that to launch this and to talk about this. I assume you also have your room signs and your other software products and the signage player products that you usually display as well. But you're also going to launch another piece of software, right?
Well, so this is the big one that we're launching this year. I mean, this is, when you look at campus and enterprise, like this is the real focus. You will see the new room signs from us. We contracted with a new firm to produce and design a new room sign that's been in the works for since January of last year. So it's been, quite the project to get it to market. We'll have the electronic paper signs, and we'll be talking about the next gen of those electronic paper signs as well. And you'll see our Connect product there in our booth, which is designed as a room management product. And by the time we get through with all the software pieces and all the hardware pieces that we'll have in the booth, I mean, we have a lot of stuff there, in addition to the classic, professional services that we offer in creative design.
So this is all part of, it's still connected to the same infrastructure. The Access TV infrastructure still has that familiar look. So this is not a completely new learning curve from somebody who has been dealing with you for years. It's just a new way of sort of approaching the design elements and the delivery elements, right?
Yeah, I mean, I will say that the process of implementing this technology is far, far easier than it was in the past. We often associated our product, or the legacy product was associated with very large SQL databases and tables, and it was prone to being corrupted if something got out of whack. Whereas there are no SQL databases in this product. Each of the players pulls its information from its appropriate endpoints. It's not funneled through a single server, which makes the efficiency of deployment and content delivery, far better than it was in the past. So the look and feel, some of the workflows and the nomenclature we use, some of that's the same, but I think the transition that we're seeing from customers migrating from legacy to this, they seem to get it much better than they did with the legacy product.
Again, you'll be in the Central Hall booth 2328. Anything else we should know, or have you covered what you wanted to cover?
Hey, I covered what I wanted to show today. And again, appreciate you putting this together, and I look forward to seeing a lot of folks in Vegas.
Well, I always learn a lot about the signage market from you, because you really do a great job tracking the market, but also feeding a segment of the market that's the one of the fastest growing segments of the market. So I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you, and I appreciate your willingness to do this. And congratulations on the new software. Of course, we'll be by there. If you want to see Visix now, you can go to Visix.com. I assume, is something about this on your website yet, or have you held off putting stuff up there yet?
Yeah, actually, it was hidden until this week, and so it's just now, you'll see it online, this week, right before the show.
Again, I've been talking to Sean Matthews, President and CEO of Visix. Sean, congratulations. It's always great talking to you. Like I said, we go back a long way. And it's been great to see this market grow. And in your segment of the market, you provide a real unique benefit to everyone. So thanks for doing that.
All right. Thanks, Gary. Look forward to seeing you in Vegas.
Yeah, I'll see you in less than a week. And, of course, check out Visix at Visix.com, Visix.com. You can see all the videos we shoot at the show at ravepubs.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.